What's up, everyone? This is FP Sticks. Ultra League is coming soon, man. Ultra League actually starts on Monday, on June 1st. So are you guys ready for it? There's been some changes to some particular Pokemon's movesets. Some Pokemon have gotten their moves buffed a little bit. Some Pokemon have gotten new moves. And let's just kind of take a look at what is going to be good in Ultra League. So first off, if you got to go to PvPoke here. You got to go to pvpoke.com, best PvP resource for figuring everything out about PvP. And if you click on the rankings tab and then sort by Ultra League, essentially this is going to show you the top Pokemon in the Ultra League. And something to take notice of right off the bat, Cresselia is now #1 in Ultra League. Cresselia is #1. Absolutely insane. And you'll notice the recommended moveset on Cresselia is actually Future Sight and Moonblast. Man, look at these, look at the ratings here. 100 as a lead, 100 as a closer, 100 as a switch, 100 as an attacker. These are some insane numbers. Because Moonblast got buffed, it's less energy cost now. It also has a chance to debuff your opponent's attack. It's an amazing move now. And so Cresselia running Future Sight and Moonblast as the charge moves is actually preferred in Ultra League. I know there was a lot of talk about running Grass Knot on Cresselia, specifically to try to give you some coverage against the water types like Swampert and Poliwrath. But as you can see right here, if we click on this little eye right there, this is going to display the matchup against Swampert running the non-Grass Knot moveset. And you can see in the 0 and the 1 shield, we win very cleanly. This is going Moonblast and then throwing a Future Sight. However, if you go straight Moonblast, check this out. If you go straight Moonblast, you win in all even shielding scenarios. You don't even need Grass Knot. And I would actually prefer to have Moonblast and Future Sight. Future Sight is a really strong hitting move that gets stab, so kind of nice to have. But some people will still like to run Grass Knot if you want. That is totally fine. PvPoke recommends Future Sight Moonblast. I would definitely go for that. Shadow Swampert, man. Do you guys have a Shadow Swampert built? If you do, looks like Ultra League is the place to let this guy loose. I've actually gone up against some Shadow Swamperts in Great League, and the Hydro Cannon damage is absolutely insane. Recommends you run Hydro Cannon and Earthquake. Honestly, when I run my Swamperts in Ultra League, I actually put Sludge Wave on them because the matchups that Swampert is going to win, like against a Lowland Muck and against Registeel, the Earthquake is actually kind of overkill. Honestly, the Earthquake damage is nice to have against the Giratinas. However, I really like the Sludge Wave to surprise those grass types. Man, if you run into a Meganium or a Shiftry or a Sceptile and they get Sludge Waved, it's a nice surprise. Giratina Altered is still very high up on the list. You can see it's #3 here. It's Dragon and Ghost typing, just gives it a lot of resistances. So you're going to be destroying Venusaur, doing really well against Charizard. One thing to take note of with this moveset, as we know, Ancient Power sucks now. So Shadow Claw, Dragon Claw, and Shadow Sneak is the way to go on Giratina. One thing I should mention before we get into some of those matchups, on Cresselia, something that's really insane about Cresselia is that you beat Giratina Altered now. Like, what? And that's because of the Moonblast buff. So if you look at the simulations here, go straight Moonblast, you beat it in the 0 and the 1 shield. Obviously in the 2 shield, those Shadow Claws and Shadow Sneaks are going to catch up with you. But you have play against Giratina Altered with Cresselia. That's absolutely insane. Really great. So Cresselia is a beast. Giratina Altered, one specific matchup you should check out is Registeel. So since we're not running Ancient Power, Shadow Sneak is actually going to give us some nice neutral damage against Registeel. In this simulation, it has you baiting with the Dragon Claw, but in reality, you're not going to be baiting a Registeel because these moves do so little damage. The Registeel is not very inclined to shield. But as you can see, if you go straight Shadow Claw, you actually win in the 2 shield, and you have very minimal health remaining, which is actually really nice because that means that you can't be farmed as much. So it's a very close fight. Obviously, if you include Dragon Claw and you're able to successfully bait, you win in the 1 and 2 shield. But good luck baiting a Registeel, man. It's going to be pretty challenging to do because Regis don't like to shield there. So Giratina altered, gonna be super legit, always really strong. Swampert, normal Swampert is at number 4. We already know Swampert's legit. Registeel. Okay, I still don't personally have a Registeel built for Ultra League because you essentially need 100% IV. You could even best buddy your Registeel, and you got to max it out. So it's a lot of investment there, and I don't have a Hundo Registeel yet. So I've been running all my teams in Ultra League without Registeel and doing just fine. So I don't think you need to build one, but it obviously is very good, but its ratings have dropped a little bit this season compared to last season. You're going to beat a Lowland Muck, Venusaur, Articuno. You're going to beat Cresselia, which is nice. You do need to have some sort of Cresselia counter on your team because Cresselias are going to be everywhere. Obviously, you beat Clefable there. Going to be weak to the Mudboy Swampert and weak to the fighters there. Articuno. Okay, in Season 1, we were seeing a lot of Articunos with Ice Shard, Icy Wind, and Ancient Power. But guess what? Ancient Power sucks now. And so the recommended moveset is to have Hurricane. Hurricane is a legacy move, so if you don't already have Legacy Articuno, you might have to use an Elite Charge TM, which I actually feel is a decent use of your Elite Charge TM. If you're kind of struggling with team comps in Ultra League and you don't have a lot of Pokemon built, Articuno is absolutely amazing. It essentially functions just like Dugong functions in the Great League. However, because you're flying as well as Ice type, you resist Grass type attacks. So you can see you're going to beat Venusaur. You can beat Poliwrath if you are running Hurricane. That's why Hurricane is so important, because otherwise Poliwrath kind of walls you. Because it's going to resist all your moves there. But beats Giratina altered, super nice. Icy Wind has that debuff chance, so really great. And its top counters are things that you are not going to be seeing very much. Caracosta, Agron. Who runs Agron in Ultra League? If you do, props to you, man. Okay, one of my personal favorites is Armored Mewtwo. I like to run Armored Mewtwo a lot with this moveset of Confusion, Psystrike, and Dynamic Punch. Psystrike is a legacy move, so you're going to need, you need Psystrike for sure. You're going to be Swampert, Poliwrath, Venusaur, Registeel, Charizard. Whole bunch of really great matchups. And again, its top counters are like Shiftry. There are going to be a lot of Shiftries, but that is where having Dynamic Punch is so beneficial. You're really going to be able to handle a lot of that stuff with Armored Mewtwo. And you can even beat Registeel, even though the Confusions are resisted. That is pretty incredible. Let's look at this matchup. If I go straight Dynamic Punch, how does this end up working out? You actually win in the 0 and 1 shield going straight Dynamic Punch. I love matchups like that are not bait dependent and give you consistent wins. I bet if we go Psystrike Dynamic Punch, we'd actually be able to win in all shielding scenarios. Now we don't win in the 2 shields, but you can go straight Dynamic Punch. That's a very clean victory for Armored Mewtwo. Super great. I love Armored Mewtwo a lot. Venusaur, really great. Honestly, all of the starter Pokemon really have a lot more play in Ultra League, I find. Venusaur is really great. You need Frenzy Plant, obviously, and then Sludge Bomb. Obviously, going to be beating all the water types there, beating Lapras. And because of your poison subtyping, you're going to be resisting the charm type attacks, which is very important because there might be some charmers out there, some Togekiss, some Clefables. I think Clefable is the preferred charmer in Ultra League because you're able to maximize its stats, but you do want some charm resistance. If you want that, Venusaur is a great option there. Lapras, another one of my favorites, and the recommended moveset for Lapras in Ultra is still Ice Shard, Surf, and Ice Beam, so double Legacy Lapras with Ice Shard and Ice Beam. I really like Lapras. You're going to beat Giratina altered. You can handle Swampert, a Lowland Muck, Articuno, Charizard, and again, the top counters here, you're not going to be seeing that many Magnazones or Alolan Golems. Machamps, maybe. Not that many Raikos. Lapras, really solid pick. And personally, I like to run Lapras a lot. Okay, check this out, you guys. There's been a lot of hype. There's been a lot of hype on Shadow Zapdos in Great League. But honestly, I think Shadow Zapdos is going to perform better in Ultra League, especially just based off these ratings here. You can beat Swampert straight Drill Peck. That's insane. You can beat Registeel, I would imagine, straight Thunderbolt. Let's look how clean. Let's look at how clean of a matchup this is. If I go straight Thunderbolt, You beat Registeel in all even shielding scenarios. Amazing. Obviously going to beat Poliwrath. Zapdos is one of probably the only electric types that can beat grass types. That's insane because of its flying and electric typing. So you can just go straight Drill Peck against Venusaur. You're going to be able to take that. You can beat Articuno. It's really great. So it's looking like if you have a Shadow Zapdos and you've been kind of hesitant on what league you want to have it in, I would strongly advise you to put it in Ultra League if you want. I personally have a normal Zapdos that I've been running in Great League and really enjoying his performance, but I think I might power up my Shadow one for Ultra League. Hopefully Niantic will give us another Team Rocket TM frustration away day so I can do that. Heracross, I have not ran into too many Heracrosses in Ultra League, but Megahorn got buffed. It's less energy cost now, so it's pretty great. I love that you can beat Swampert or Lowland Muck. You can just demolish Registeel close combat hits so hard. You're going to beat Poliwrath because you're going to resist the fighting type moves there, as well as the mud shots, and beat Venusaur. That's really great. You don't see that many Lugias. You don't see that many Gardevoirs, Crobats. Nah, you don't see those too frequently in Ultra. So Heracross is a great fighting type that's going to counter those steel types, as well as beat the Snorlaxes, which you will see as well. Shadow Articuno. This is pretty interesting that Shadow Articuno is rated lower than normal Articuno. So no sense in powering up your Shadow Articuno. You just lose some bulk there, and it looks like you're going to lose some of those matchups. Okay, Giratina Origin's pretty interesting that it's number 13. I personally just enjoy running Giratina Altered. However, Giratina Origin can beat Giratina Altered. I guess that's one benefit of it, but it is far less flexible than Giratina Altered is. Because you're essentially running the double Ghost moveset. Even though Ominous Wind kind of sucks, recommended moveset is still Shadow Ball and Ominous Wind. Dragon Pulse could be pretty interesting there, but you definitely want Shadow Claw as the fast move. Machamp is at number 14, and this is really interesting because I have not run into that many Machamps, but obviously you're going to beat the Steel types, beat a Lowland Muck. You're going to beat Poliwrath because you are dishing out fighting fast move damage with counter, where Poliwrath is kind of just mud-shotting you there. So Machamp, pretty interesting. You have Rock Slide as nice coverage against the Flyers. So against like Togekiss, you could do a nice chunk there, but you're still going to lose that pretty hard. Regirock, dude. Why is it always rated so high, but no one ever uses it? Maybe I'll use Regirock in Ultra League. Who knows? It's essentially like Registeel, but worse. Because Rock as a typing is not as defensively nice as Steel. But Snorlax, really solid pick. I like this because you essentially wall Giratina Origin. If they're running double Ghosts, there's nothing they can do against you. And you're going to beat Giratina Altered. Looks like the recommended moveset is Body Slam and Earthquake. However, I believe this might be bait dependent. I don't know if you can go straight Earthquake and win. Let's see. Okay, you can in the 0 and the 1 shield go straight Earthquake and win. Otherwise, the Dragon Claw damage from Giratina is going to catch up with you. So that's one great thing to know. Obviously, if you bait, I bet you win in all shielding scenarios. Oh yeah, very clean victory across the board. So good luck baiting a Giratina though, because Earthquake really doesn't chunk a Giratina that much because you don't get stab on it. But Snorlax, really solid pick. Shadow Venusaur, that's interesting. Again, this is rated lower than normal Venusaur, so I would not worry about powering up your Shadow. Virizion's pretty interesting. I don't personally have any experience with it, but Quick Attack, Leaf Blade, and Close Combat is the recommended moveset there. Obviously, you're going to get wrecked by the Charmers and Confusion users, but it's nice that you have Grass and Fighting coverage. Kind of interesting. Shadow Raikou is going to be very glassy, and honestly, if you're going to use a Shadow Legendary, I would go for Shadow Zapdos. That seems to be the way to go. Shadow Ball's nice for coverage. Hariyama's pretty interesting, Rock and Close Combat, and Heavy Slam gives you some coverage against the Fairy types. Okay, a Lowland Muck is rated number 21. It should be way higher. It should be way higher. This thing really outperforms itself. It's pretty great. I like to use a Lowland Muck as a safe swap, and it looks like the recommended moveset is Snarl, Dark Pulse, and Gunk Shot. So instead of running Sludge Wave, actually running Gunk Shot to have a much harder hitting charge move. I love that you can beat Giratina Altered, and you're going to beat Cresselia. You need a Cresselia counter on your team. You need it. Cresselia is going to be everywhere because it's that good. So a Lowland Muck could be that choice for you. Moonblast is only going to be hitting for neutral. And Future Sight's going to be hitting for resistance, so it's great. You can have some great resistances there. You can beat the Charmers, even though the charm damage is going to add up over time. You have those poison moves to threaten it. Regice at number 22. This is kind of a meme. Regice doesn't have that much play. Clefable, I think, is the best Charmer in Ultra League. Meganium, here's another starter Pokemon. Really nice because you can still threaten the Steel types with Earthquake, and obviously you're going to beat those Water types. Escavalier. Okay, I'm definitely considering building an Escavalier for Ultra League because Megahorn and Drill Run are both of those moves that got buffed and they now do a lot better. You can beat Swampert, but this is a bait dependent matchup, folks. And you only beat it in the one shield. Check this out. If I go straight Drill Run, can't beat it. If I go straight Megahorn, can't beat it. So I don't like bait dependent matchups like that. I really like clean matchups, but that Escavalier against Swampert matchup is bait dependent. But you beat Registeel, that's amazing. You beat Venusaur and Snorlax, so that's pretty great. You're gonna be double weak to fire, so if a Charizard comes in, you are just totally screwed. You got no play against that. Licky's pretty interesting. Haven't run into any in Ultra League. Ferrothorn's pretty interesting. Again, haven't run into any in Ultra League, but maybe this time around. If you have a Mew for Ultra League, it's rated there. Not too bad. Typhlosion is down here. I think Typhlosion actually performs really well. I love that you have Shadow Claw damage that's going to be hitting for super effective on Giratina, and the Blast Burn is going to shred through Registeel and Articuno and the grass types, obviously. And you have a nice Solar Beam nuke to nuke those pesky Swamperts. Suicune, that's pretty interesting. Other than that, we start getting into some crazy off-meta stuff. Blastoise is down here. Blastoise is pretty decent. You do have to max it out, and you need to run Hydro Cannon and Ice Beam with it. But other than that, give this rankings list a check out for yourself, man. Go to pvpoke.com, click on the rankings tab, sort by Ultra League, and see what you can find. Start learning these matchups because Ultra League is right around the corner. Hope you guys found this video informative and hope you enjoyed it. You got to start getting these knowledge in these matchups for Ultra League. So best of luck out there. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.